Hello, everyone, and welcome to another match preview on Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie, and I'm your host for this evening. We are entering the final match day of the Champions League first phase, and with Liverpool qualifying for the next round, it's a chance for some of the squad players to get some game time and showcase their talent in the big stage. They'll be facing PSV at the Philips Stadion later today, which will not be an easy game, and hopefully we can still get the win and maintain our 100% record in the competition. So during the show, we'll analyze our opponents and see what kind of form they're in the last few weeks. I'll also present the team news, predict the lineups, and reveal my score prediction. So let's talk about our opponents, who are the current Eredivisie champions. They're actually still top of the table with a 4 point gap. In the last 5 games, they won twice, 3-0 against Feyenoord and 3-0 against NAC. They drew one game, which was a 2-2 draw against AZ Alkmaar, and they also suffered two defeats, a 1-0 defeat to Heerenveen and also 3-1 against PSV Eindhoven. So they're not in the best of form in recent weeks. So interesting to see, what team is set out in this fixture. Now, in terms of their Champions League campaign, they're currently 19th in the table. So if they were to win this game, they have an outside chance of finishing in an automatic qualification spot. They'll most likely finish in around the knockout phase. So that's after a position as a seeded team. Now, if they were to lose, they are still in a position to qualify for the next round, but will be involved in a knockout playoff phase. So it'll be interesting to see what team Peter Bosz lines up in this game. In terms of their record for the Champions League, they've won 3 games, a 4-0 win against Girona, 3-2 against Shakhtar Donetsk, and 3-2 again against Red Star Belgrade. They drew twice, a 1-1 draw against Sporting Lisbon and a 1-1 draw against PSG. But they've also lost twice, which was a 3-1 defeat against Juventus and 1-0 against Brest. So in regards to Liverpool, we're in great form, of course. We beat Ipswich Town 4-1 in style over the weekend, top of the Premier League table. In terms of the Champions League, you already know our record, 7 wins out of 7. So let's make it 8 out of 8. Let's go through the team news and see who's available for this fixture. For PSV, they've got a few injuries in Nagalo, Tillman, who's one of their stand-up players, I would say, this season, the American international, Driouch and Dest. Noah Long has recovered from injury, so he could be in contention to feature in this game. And they've got one suspension in Flamingo. Now, in terms of Liverpool, Jota and Curtis Jones remain in the sideline. Some good news. Apparently, Joe Gomez is back in full training, so I don't think he'll be starting this game. Could be in the squad, but I don't expect him to be involved anytime soon. And we don't have any suspensions in our squad. So let's present a graphic and we can predict the lineups of both teams. So we'll start with the home team, and that is PSV. Now, in terms of their lineup, let's have a look. So for the goalkeeping role, it will be Benitez. He's normally their main goalkeeper. So there we go. The Argentine player is there. Now, in terms of the fullback positions, you've got Ledesma, I believe, who normally plays at right back. So I expect him to start in this one as well. So let's place him in the graphic. So Ledesma, if this works, there we go. There we go. Is that him? Okay. Did not know he was American international. Um, he's listed as a centre mid, so strange that he's playing a right back, but maybe he has switched position. No Flamingo, he would normally start in this one. So I'm going to go for a player called Obispo. So he's a player that could come uh, in the centre back position there. Alongside him would be Bostagli. So let's see. There we go. French player there. And on the left side, you've got Maro Jr. So there we go. So player, as you can see, multifunctional, left back, centre mid, and right back. So he starts on the left hand side. So that's the back four for PSV. So I've just realized I'm editing the wrong graphic. So best thing to do. Apologies. Let me just quickly sort that out. PSV. Um, here we go. That is the lineup. Sorry, apologies. So that is the back four alongside the goalkeeper there. Now, in terms of the midfield, some familiar names. I'm sure the fans will remember, especially if you watched the Netherlands in the Euros. One player that really stood out for me was Shouten. Very, very good player, very industrious on and off the ball. So I'm intrigued to see how he performs in this game. And alongside him will be Vermin, a player who, for me, is an interesting profile. Deep playmaker, very good on the ball. So I expect him to have some influence in this game. Very, very good range of passing. Can play further up if required, but I think in this team he will be playing in a double pivot. On the right side, we're all familiar with his name. It's Bakayoko, a player that has been linked with the club for the last 12 to 18 months as a potential long-term successor to Salah, if you believe the rumors. Decent player. I'm not sure if he's at the level for Liverpool in terms of the transfer rumors there. But now there's a player to look out for. Very, very electric on that right hand side. Left footed, so likes to cut in and has a decent shot on him as well. So definitely one to watch. Um, in the number 10 role, I'm going to go for Till, not Tillman, who's unfortunately injured. So it's going to be the other Till in this team. And it will be, could be Noah Long, who can play on the left, or Perisic, who we all know. I'm going to go for Noah Long. I don't know if he's fully fit, but if he is, then they have to go for him. So I'm going to go for Noah Long to play on the left hand side, and through the middle will be De Jong, who I'm sure we're all familiar with. Had a small spell at Newcastle and was obviously a former Sevilla player. So that is my predicted lineup. So feel free to drop a comment and let me know what you guys think. In terms of the danger men, for me, it has to be Bakayoko. If he plays Noah Lang, if it's not Noah Lang, it'll be Perisic, who he might not be the attacking spark in this team. He's not going to get past few players or anything like that, but he's very, very good in terms of his ability on the ball and can whip in some great crosses. And when you've got a striker like De Jong who relies on that type of service, it could play to advantage. So I've gone for now. Like, I just feel like he's a bit more of a tricky customer, especially with our right back position not always being our solid position, and I feel like a lot of teams target that side. So if I was Peter Bosz, I'd go for Now Lang. So that's why I predicted him in the lineup. And De Jong probably didn't have the best of spells against us or any team in the Premier League. But in terms of what he produces on the pitch, he's going to be physical. He's going to make sure that his back is on the centre backs, and he's going to try and win every challenge in the air. So set pieces, we've got to make sure we defend them really well. We have the goal against Ipswich Town was down to poor defending, so that's something that he would capitalize on. So we need to make sure, whether it's zonal or man marking, we need to make sure we're on top of our game. So he's going to be a difficult opponent in the air, a very, very good header of the ball. So got to make sure that we outmuscle him or push him, do what you got to do to make sure he doesn't get onto any of the balls. So this is my predicted lineup for PSV. So drop a comment and let me know what you guys think. And then we'll move on to the Liverpool team. So I'm sure everyone's seen the squad that is been selected for this team. So if you haven't, what I might do actually, I might just share screen so we know who is available. So let's see what we can do. Because then we'll get a bit of an idea in terms of who's available and who's not. So where is it gone? Uh, there we go. Apologies, guys. So this is the 21-man squad that have traveled to PSV. So you've got Endo, Darwin Nunez, Chiesa, you've got Gakpo, you've got Harvey Elliott, you've got Simicast, Robertson, Kone Doherty. If you're not familiar with this player, he's a player that is probably one to watch. I'd probably say one of the upcoming players that expect to break into the team. A very, very talented player. You've got Mbaya, you've got McConnell, Yaros, Kelleher, Nalo, the centre back, Morrison, Dans, Norris, a left back option there as well. Kwanzaa, Morton, Bradley, Davis, and Nyoni. So a lot of youth players there. So it'll be good to get some of these players on the pitch and gain some valuable Champions League experience. It would be a proud moment for these young players. So hopefully, a number of them are able to hit the ground. So that's our squads right there. So clearly, a lot of players are being rested. So a lot of first teamers aren't available. So we will present a team based on squad there. So um, I'm actually quite pleased he's gone for that sort of squad. I did have an inkling that he might go strong because he just wants to maintain 100% record. But I think he also came to the realization that it doesn't really matter where you finish in this new format. Where you finish first or second, it really has no importance because the team that you end up getting paired with should be a decent team because not everyone's performed to their level this year. So for me, probably the right thing to do. And we've got a tricky game on the weekend against Bournemouth, so I'm pleased that he's gone for a rotated squad for this fixture. So let's start with the goalkeeper. For me, it will be Kelleher in goal, and then you've got Conor Bradley. Right, man, I don't think there'll be any arguments there. Left back will be a flip of a coin. Robertson, Simicast. Maybe throw Norris in there. Would he get a start? I don't think he would. Um, I would go for Robertson. But my thinking of selecting Robertson is two things. Experience. So obviously there'll be a few young players around. And I would like Simicast to start against Bournemouth rather than Robertson, in my opinion, because the wide players that they have, they're pacey, they're tricky, and they score goals. So for me, Simicast would be the better left back in that game. So I'm going for Robertson for this fixture. Endo plays as a centre back, and he will be accompanied by Kwanzaa. So that is the Liverpool back line there for me. We do not play a 4-3-3, so let me switch that formation up to a 4-2-3-1 formation. Um, Now, in terms of double pivot, I'm going to go for Morton. Would he go for Trenioni or would he go for McConnell? I'd personally go for McConnell. I think McConnell has not a lot more experience, but slightly more. Um, I'd like to see him get some game time. Whenever he's made a cameo for Liverpool, I've always been impressed. The fixture he played against Accrington Stanley came on and did a decent job for me. So McConnell and Morton as the double pivot, and in that number 10 role, I'm going to give it to Harvey Elliott. Really good to see him playing in his natural position, in my opinion. And then Chiesa, it's about time to start the Italian now on the right wing. And then I'm gonna go for Cody Gakpo returning to his former club on the left side, and through the middle will be Darwin Nunez. So that is my prediction there in terms of the lineup. So feel free to drop a comment and let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Would you even rotate further and add more youth players into this lineup? Feel free to let me know in the comments. Now, in terms of my score prediction, no surprise, I am going for a Liverpool win. It's not going to be a huge scoreline, in my opinion. I think we'll just about get the job done. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 prediction. Now, in terms of the goal scorers for PSV, it's going to be Bakayoko. I think it will get on the score sheet. And for Liverpool, it will be Chiesa and Gakpo. That's the two players that I'm going for in terms of breaking, or shall I say, in the back of the net. So that is my score prediction. That is also the end of the match preview. I'm just going to go through the comments before we close the show. Um, Abdul Rahim says, "Hi, Ozzy, assalamu alaikum. How are you? You're never walk along." Walaikum salam, Abdul. I'm doing very well. Hope you are well, and thank you for tuning in. Um, and this is Abdul's lineup for this fixture. So he's gone for Kelleher, Bradley's gone for Nalo and Kwanzaa and Simikas. Nalo was not a bad shout. I think I had Nalo in my predicted lineup for the Accrington Stanley game, but then we ended up going with Endo, I think, didn't we? So Nano's not a bad shot. He has been around the team. He's been selected for quite a few squads, so that is a good shot actually. You've gone for Morton and Endo and a double pivot. Then you've gone for Elliot, Chiesa, Nunes, and Dan. So I'm interested to see where you're playing Dan's. Is Dan's playing on the left wing or is Darwin Nunes playing on the left wing? Feel free to let me know what position they're playing in. Um, Abdul Rahim says no signs until summer 2025. FSU no ambition and tight honours. I've been saying it for weeks, Abdul. I know, as fans, we try to be hopeful in these sort of situations, but no, it just wasn't going to happen. And I know there's been certain rumors speculating, especially circulating, sorry, over the weekend, where a player that I'm sure you guys have known that I've mentioned on numerous occasions, Joao Hato, a player that I would love the club to sign, was spotted at Anfield over the weekend. That mean a move is on the cards? I think so. That is normally a good indication, but that doesn't mean he's a signing for this month. I think he's probably been earmarked as a signing for the summer, but as of sort of formality, they've invited him to the game just to see what the environment is in terms of the crowd in the stadium, just to entice the player to join. I've already seen videos circling where he first met Van Dijk and he was already starstruck when that happened. So I don't think they need to sell the club any further. I'm hoping that is a deal that they get wrapped up in the background and announced when we conclude the season. Then obviously start with the summer transfer spending. But yes, Abdul doesn't look like we're signing anyone this month. But for me, no huge surprise. Um, I was asked, when is Jota and Jones back? Good to see Joe Gomez back in training, need him injury free and match fit. I totally agree with you. Good to see Joe Gomez back. He will be used in upcoming games. Jota and Jones, I'm not too sure about, to be fair. Jota, we've been told it's a few weeks. Jones, I'm not sure at this stage. So hopefully it's not a lengthy one. I'm sure we'll get some clarity for the match preview against Bournemouth this week. So yeah, hopefully it's not a long layoff. Abdul says play strong against Bournemouth on weekend 3 p.m. Saturday kickoff. Correct. I definitely think we should do that. Ozan Kabat says big up yourself, Ozan. Appreciate you tuning in. Uh, Ozan says honestly not fussed about the result of this game. Like Slot said, first place is able to don't make a difference. Totally agree, and that's probably why he's gone for such a youthful squad in the end. So yeah, it doesn't really make a huge difference to be fair. We could still play Real Madrid or Bayern if we clinch first place. Exactly. There's no guarantee that we'll play a lesser team on paper, respectively. So no, it doesn't make a difference. So obviously, in terms of pride, it's great. 8 wins out of 8, but in terms of who we're paired against, it doesn't make no difference. So no, let's see who we end up playing in the next round. I'm sure it will be a strong team from some shape or form. Michael Collion, because so Michael says still should be an okay first team. Yeah, in terms of the predicted lineup I have, it's still an experienced team. Obviously, the area that I'm looking at that looks a bit less experienced is Morton and McConnell in a double pivot, but McConnell's played for the Liverpool first team a few times. Morton's made one or two appearances, but he's still experienced enough and has played at championship level. He was actually linked with moves across Europe, so he's probably suited for the European game more than the Premier League, if I'm being honest. So no, I don't have too much concerns with this sort of lineup. Worst comes to worst, if the double pivot are struggling, Endo can go back into that position, and maybe we bring on a young centre back alongside Kwanzaa. We can tinker it around a little bit, but I feel like this is a solid team against PSV, and I think we could get the win with this lineup. Someone was saying we might see Robbo centre back with a youth left back. That is a possibility. So, like I mentioned, Endo needs to go into midfield. Robertson can play as a left side centre back in a makeshift position alongside Kwanzaa, or Nalo would be the one I would say that would come into the team, and you can play Simicas on the left hand side. So different options. So definitely that we can make sure that we're covered in all cylinders and make sure there's no sort of holes in our team. And if we're able to just even get a decent result, for me, it's good enough. And also, it's a great time to play some of these youth players. Give them that experience, give them that taste of European football. It'll do wonders for their career. So hopefully, Arsenal does make 5 substitutions. And I feel like it will be a rewarding one for the young players in the squad. Um, as I said, PSV are first in the Eredivisie and 19th in the UCL. That's correct. I mentioned that earlier on as well. 3-3 draws secures first place, whatever Barca does. So yeah, let's see what happens. Not hugely fast in terms of where we finish um, in this year, but as in it doesn't have huge importance for me personally. I'd want us to win and get 8 wins out of 8. It's just it's a big statement to win like that. Obviously, it's the first time that they've done this format. So if we had our old format where it was group stage and you won 8 out of 8, then that would definitely speak volumes, and teams will be fearing Liverpool. I still feel like that is the case. I don't think no one wants to pair with Liverpool right now, so early on in the competition. So we're the team that everyone's going to try and avoid. The Barcelonas, the Real Madrids, the Bayern, you name all of them. They will try and they'd want to avoid playing us in the last 16. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the coming weeks. But that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to Abdul. Thank you to Ozen Kabak. Obviously not the real one, but big up yourself, and big up to Michael. Appreciate your comments, guys. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. In terms of upcoming content, I will be doing a live watch along for this fixture tomorrow. It's 8 p.m. kickoff UK time, so I will be live from 7:50 p.m. and we can discuss the lineups together and watch the game. And yeah, feel free to get involved in the live chat during the game. Obviously, no spoilers, please. If my footage is slightly behind, I don't want to see someone scored or anything to that nature. But feel free to get involved, whether it's comments on the game or you've got questions for me. Everyone is welcome to ask what they want. And then we'll have a match reaction show after the game. Will be around 11 p.m. UK time, and then on Thursday I will have a match preview of Bournemouth versus Liverpool. Very important Premier League fixture. Bournemouth have been in sensational form in recent weeks. They thrashed Arsenal's nemesis in Nottingham Forest. They thrashed them 5-0. So they're in team in high form, and it was at their home ground at the Vitality Stadium. So it's not going to be a walk in the park. So I'll be doing a match preview on Thursday with a special guest. So please make sure to tune in for that. And then for that fixture, I'll be also doing a live watch along and a match reaction show on Saturday. So lots of content coming your way, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in this late hour, wherever you are in the world. Thank you again. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to speak with you all very, very soon. Goodbye.